welcome back. I have all the parts prepped, sanded, wax and grease remover, tack cloth blown off, ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and mix up my epoxy primer, because I always use that as a sealer. So I'm going to get that mixed up there, and we are going to go out there, put a light coat of this on, and then after that we'll mix up the white, start putting on the white. Okay, I just mixed up the white. The sealer is still drying. You got to make sure you give that stuff a good 15 to 20 minutes to dry, because if you don't, you're going to trap that wet sealer underneath your base coat and cause solvent pops in the future, or a couple days, a week from now. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure it's fully cured before you put your base coat on. Now remember, this base coat is really, really thick, so it's actually mixed up less than 1 to 1. So I went up to just below the 300 on the line, but then I took this up to probably 700. So it's definitely more reducer than paint. but that's what I have to do with this stuff because it's so thick. So I'm gonna let that sealer set for a couple more minutes, and then we're gonna go out there and get this white put on. Two good coats and probably one light mist coat, and then it'll be ready for the pearl, and then a couple coats of clear. Okay, I finished putting on the white off camera. Now I've just mixed up the pearl. Once again, it's a 1-to-1 mix. Gonna get this, go out there, do the first coat on camera, then I'll do the last coat off camera, and then we'll come back and we'll clear it. Okay, in about 10 minutes I'll put the last coat of pearl on. And then after that we'll put a couple coats of clear and that'll be it. We're probably only gonna put 2 coats of clear. We're not really wet sanding and buffing any of these. And maybe I'll do 3 on the mirror, but more than likely just 2. So I'll be back in about 10 minutes. Well, actually, I'm gonna put the second coat on in about 10 minutes, then I'll be back to do the clear. Okay, my clear is mixed up. That is a 4-to-1 mix. We're not putting any reducer in it. We're gonna leave it thick. We're gonna put 2 coats on. Should be all we need on these parts. Like I said, these are bumpers and mirrors and engine compartment parts that don't need 3-4 coats of clear. We're not gonna wet sand and buff them. If we do any wet sanding and buffing, it's gonna be on the mirrors and it's gonna be very minor. So I'm gonna get this in the gun. We're gonna go out there and get the first coat of clear on. Now another thing before I go out there to spray, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but when you mix up your clear, let it set for a couple minutes and then restir it. They recommend letting it sit for a few minutes to all the chemicals to kind of bond together. If you just mix it real quick, throw it in the gun and start spraying, you run the risk of it not being fully mixed up, and you could actually hurt it by the clear not having enough hardener in it. You could actually be spraying, let's say, more clear at first, and then it'd be more hardener towards the end of it. But just make sure you let it set for a couple minutes and then come back, restir it, and then you're ready to spray. Okay, I'm gonna give that 10 minutes, mix up some more clear. I'm gonna throw the second coat of clear on off camera. Then we'll come back after about 15 minutes after the second coat. We'll take a look at all the parts, and then we should be good to go. After this, that's all we have left is the cab itself. We have to do the door jambs, engine compartment, put the front clip together. I still gotta do the underside of the hood. I keep forgetting that. But then we gotta put the fender, inner fender, and the hood back on. Once we get the firewall done, we'll probably put those engine compartment pieces back in, and then we can work on getting the shell painted, the frame, and then start putting the truck back together. So I'll be back in a little bit. All right, let's take a look at them, guys. Turned out real nice. Nice and smooth. Really no dirt in them. So very, very minimal. Like this will probably get a little bit of wet sanding to just get the minor orange feel out of it. But everything looks real good. So another batch of parts done, guys. As you can tell, this truck has a lot of pieces to paint. There is a lot to this paint job. Even putting it together, there's a lot involved. But we'll get there. We're getting there pretty quickly, actually. So next, I'm going to be actually making a video probably tonight. I'm going to be making a sign for the back building here. I'm actually putting a little bar out here. So I'm making a bar sign. It's just going to say bar, 3 letters. I'm going to be installing lights and stuff in them, and we're going to make a box. We're going to make it double-sided. So if you guys are interested in seeing me make a sign like that, make sure you come back later tonight or tomorrow and watch that video. And I still got to make a box for that Ford sign too. But tomorrow I'm going to be working on the door jambs of the dually and that valance for the 49 Studebaker, because I'm painting the 49 Studebaker next weekend. So I have to have that valance done, just because it'd be nice to just paint it when I paint the car and then I'm done with the whole project. So I need to get that done this week as far as getting it welded. I'll probably do a video on getting it all welded together, and then I'll do another video on the body work and primering, and then after that point it'll be ready for paint. So make sure you guys stay tuned for more videos coming, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.